What's up, hobby maniacs? Rob Bear here today with my brand new latest tutorial how-to video. Today I'm going to show you my trusty hobby toolbox. This thing, I can't even tell you how long I've had it. I think 18 years, I suspect longer, but let's just say this toolbox might be older than some of you hobbyists out there watching this video today. That's the importance of buying good things, buying good tools, so they'll last you for as long as you hobby. And I tell you what, I have not gone wrong with this thing here. So what I want to do is, I actually broke the video into two parts because it's just a lot of ground to cover and explain to you like what the things are in my hobby toolbox, what I do with them and why they're important and why you might want them and why you might not want them, you know? There's so many tools out there and there's so many varieties and brands and things like that. It's always good to, kind of get maybe a second opinion on what kind of stuff you should be using and to add to your hobby arsenal there back at home. And also I have some really kind of avant-garde kind of like weird stuff, oddities so to speak, that you might not have ever seen before or even heard of, so we'll put you onto that too, and hopefully that helps out your hobby experience and like I said, building your hobby arsenal there as well. This week is really exciting around these parts because Kenny from The Long War and Next Level Painting is actually out of town, so I'm kind of DJing a lot of stuff here behind the scenes, and of course I had to get my video done for this week. If you're a brand new veteran of The Long War, which there's been a ton of you lately, and I super appreciate it. Like we say all the time, it's not, what we do here is not about the money, but it takes money to do the things we do, and we want to do so much, and it's really great to have that support. So if you're in the Veterans Hall watching these videos for the first time, welcome. There's like I said, there's been a lot over the past week or so we really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. We can't do it without you, and we are definitely glad to have you here. Make sure you tune in for the weekly webcasts, which are Wednesday night at 8 p.m. now, and then we also have the podcasts that go out at some point usually early Wednesday morning Eastern Standard Time here in the US. So I'll actually be getting that together this week as well. So exciting times here, lots going on, so we're gonna jump right into it and show you part one of my hobby toolbox. All right, so let's take a look inside this thing. Obviously, you can tell it's your standard Walmart pattern plastic toolbox. I think it cost me a whole like $5. I have probably had this thing for, I'd say, 18 years. I know I bought it in the 90s, to be honest, and I've seen all sorts of variants of it. Like you can get green ones, you can get black ones, you can get ones with the clear stuff up in here, so you can actually see what's in these, the quick grab section here. It's got a nice handle. I mean, it's got some weight to it. It's hard plastic. It is seen some stuff. If this toolbox could talk, it has seen some shit, let me tell you. So obviously, like I said, it's just your standard Walmart kind of toolbox, tackle box thing here. That's it's just it's a really good pattern toolbox. If you need a toolbox for all your tools, this is the way to go. Go up to Walmart, Lowe's, because I think they're owned by the same people, and check them out. So first off, let's take a look up top here at the quick grab area. All right, so what I use this for is to basically just kind of quick grab stuff that I might need, on the fly, depending on where I'm at. I got a whole bunch of little bits and bobs and things, and honestly, I haven't really cleaned this out in years. I mean, you can see Rogue Trader pewter backpacks. This is what they basically, the new Horus Heresy ones are inspired by, and Cromlech and Max Mini, I think, made some of these too. But this is the old OG Turbofan Rogue Trader backpacks. I got a grip of them up in here. Obviously, I've been collecting those for a while as well, and some other stuff here and there. The cap for my X-Acto blade that's probably just kicking in here, all exposed and things. So what I like to do is I keep a grip of these Excel blades right here that you can buy these online. Literally, you can get 100 of these for $8, and they're just as good as the X-Acto blades. Don't let anybody fool you, because a blade's a blade. You're gonna do a lot of wear and tear on the blade, so you might as well just pick you up a cheap pack of these from eBay or Amazon or whatever, and they will literally last you years. Then I've got my Dremel
drill bits here, which are really great. These, they basically, you know, they're 100% metric. They started at 8th. They go down to like, I don't even know, 64th or something right here. So it's really good, you know, a good set of drill bits. They come with most Dremels. These are good to save. They, you know, they basically had this nice little holder right here that protects them very well. So I use these with all my pin vices, which I keep right there. And then I got some extra metal pieces here. If you saw that Storm Raven assembly video on how I magnetize that, you'll realize that these are actually tin plate and they're magnetic. So what I do is I use these sometimes with my projects, and I keep these in here because it's actually really hard to cut through the metal. I have to use these huge ass tin snips that basically look like garden shears, which I don't keep in here because usually I'm only doing that stuff at home, so I don't have to worry about portability. But you know, that being said, there's all that. And then I got some of these old GW sold these files back around the Finecast time for, you know, sanding down your liquid green stuff, which was a complete crock in my opinion, but I still bought them just to try them out. They're not bad, but honestly, I don't even use them anymore. I could probably just throw them out there. So that's kind of like my quick release stuff. And then of course I've got a pencil for all my projects. Sharpie, you can never be without a Sharpie for, you know, planning out projects. Then I got my luxury seam scraper right here. Let me tell you what, this thing actually doesn't suck. Like, you know, a lot of people want to talk shit about that line of hobby tools that Citadel came out with. I mean, this thing is a full tang of metal that goes all the way through. It gives you great control. The grip is really nice. You know, I use this thing on all of my projects for the past year and a half or so, and it hasn't even dulled yet. Like, I use that straight up. Really good stuff. And then another kind of you know, the old stand by me is this metal ruler, or I guess scale, depending on how you're trained, that really is great for measuring things out. And you know it's accurate. It's nice steel. It's not going to move when you're, you know, measuring stuff out. Then I got my double up pin vices, because let me tell you what, nothing is more annoying than having to doing a project and nugging a bunch of stuff out and having to change the pin vise in the middle of it, because I mean, let's be honest, that is super annoying. So what I do is I keep these two right here preloaded, one that's about the size of drilling out bolters and things like that, and one that's about the size of magnets that I use for shoulder pads. So that tends to work out. That tends to be a good combination and work out really well. Then I've got my trusty X-Acto blade, full on, you know, branded X-Acto. Ooh, spare no expense. I don't even know. I probably had that for years, so I don't know why I have it, but I still do. And then it's just a couple of little brass rods and things in here to cut down for pinning. I also have some paper clips in the bottom, but I prefer to use the brass rods where applicable, just because of their strength, and they're a lot stronger than paper clips. But you know, if you got paper clips, sometimes that's all you need too. So that's the little quick release section right there. Which and a trusty thumbtack, and some random little rubber bands and things that I may just need on the fly to hold stuff together. So once you snap those down, we're gonna get into the juicy parts of the actual toolbox itself, which is going to be the first tray. Now the first tray, I use it just to basically, it's my grabby stuff, you know, because I just want to be able to jump in here, grab some stuff, get out, get back to my project, you know what I'm saying? So it's very important that the stuff I use the most is right here. That being said, let's take a look. So I got two of my plastic glues. I actually have one that's running, it's running a little low. I think I've had that for about 5 years now, and I bought one on the fly because I actually forgot one and I was out of town, so I just needed some. So now I got two, and they live right there. And let me tell you what, they're good to go. Then I got some brushes, and I can't stress the importance of a good brush. Now you can use your toothbrush and stuff, but I prefer to use toothbrushes for cleaning. For getting in there with soap and hitting up, you know, Forge roll and things using dish soap. These are your workhorses, but what's not your workhorses are these plastic bristle brushes. Now they sold these with the Citadel cleanup kit, and I don't know why I have to, but I do. But let me tell you what, these plastic bristles is what you want, because when you're filing stuff down and you want to get, you're filing it down and you want to get stuff out of the way. First of all, this has got a really good handle for using. You know, you get in there, you can get into tight places with these bristles right here, which is really good. And the fact that it's plastic, it's not going to mess up your surface. Whether you're working with plastic minis, resin minis, you know, different plastics like those exotic plastics, resins, you know, Kingdom Death stuff that's really nice sculpted, forge rolled resins, pewters, you're not going to mess it up. And then I've got this one here that came with an airbrush accessory kit that I use sometimes with my airbrush to clean out, because you don't want to be getting in there in the metals and grinding stuff away with, you know, wire brushes. So these are my plastic brushes. These are, you know, very, very good stuff to use right here for all your cleaning needs. Then I got a backup X-Acto haft, because you never know when your X-Acto is going to walk away. Backup pencil, because you always need pencils for projects. Then I got like 3 sets of tweezers, because I swear every set of tools I ever buy always came with some tweezers. So I got tweezers, and I actually use tweezers quite a bit. I keep one on my little painting desk, because the cat hair plate. You know, you got to be getting in there, and why I put everything away at night and I try to cover it up as best as possible when I'm not in the room. If I have to, you know, go to the bathroom or something, you know, you still have that problem with cat hair. So you always want to have some tweezers if you're a pet owner to, you know, keep the pet hair off your models. Then I have these fine jewelry saw blades here, and these you'll see when we get down to the bottom tray, which may not be this video, but these are really good for getting in there and basically being able to precision saw things, which is kind of the name of the game when it comes to a hobby. You don't want to be just like hacking and slashing, so to speak. Then we got a bottle of plastic putty, and if you've seen a lot of my tutorial videos, you already know this stuff is great for filling seams. I got some backup secret tech for painting, just in case I forget some. I got some right here. It's also great for thinning down things. Then I got my Instacure, my gap filling medium. Now I try to keep this tilted so hopefully it doesn't leak out at the top there. So that's very important. You don't want your stuff leaking out. Then I got just basically some, they're not necessarily needle nose, they're great more for like grabbing and holding parts. Some files, a classic set, I think it's missing too, from Privateer Press. Another Sharpie, because hey, why not? Then I got this little tool here that's really neat. It's a tube cutter. It's a tube cutter for plastic tubing, because if you ever cut plastic tubing, you know it's very hard to do and keep it from basically splitting and giving you busted ends, not fully flush. So what you do is you put your tubing or your metals in here, and then you just basically crank on this, and the blade in there just slowly slices through what you need, and it's good to go, and it doesn't cause any extra pressure or crimp your tubing and things like that. So it gives you that nice flush surface that you're looking for conversions and things, which I obviously want. I don't want my stuff looking all buster unless it's orcs maybe. So there's all that. Then we get over to this side. I got my trusty clippers. I actually bought these flush, you know, dikes. They call them dikes, flush cutters, whatever you want to call them. But I actually bought these at Lowe's on the fly, and I've been oiling them. You know, hops number 5, the same stuff I used to oil my airbrush. I've been oiling these for a while, and let me tell you what. You know, these do the Lord's work when it comes to miniatures. So, and it came with a matching set of just like some pincers, which I don't really use a whole lot. Sometimes I use them with that other pair just to hold stuff. So, you know, you don't have to buy the super overpriced stuff. I think this set cost $8 at Lowe's. But if you're at the game store, you always want to support your game store. These are X-Acto, and I've had these so long it's pretty much worn off here, but these are official X-Acto shears, or maybe Friscos, I forget. One of those, yeah, Friscos. And what I use these for, and it used to have a little lock here, but that's since busted off. This is great for cutting plastic card. They're basically like material shears, but more for like plastic and things. Oh, looks like the cat feeder has gone off. I'm sure the cats will be enjoying their lunchtime meal here shortly. So these cut through plastic card like butter, so you don't have to worry about getting out your X-Acto and things like that. You just go along your line, and you're good to go. And I love those things; they're great. Another spare backup X-Acto shaft. So if you your buddy's like, "Hey, you got an X-Acto blade?" Yes, I do. This is actually a really good find that I'm proud of. I converted a really huge orc army to guard, or from guard to orcs, I guess, way back in the day. And I went to Ace Hardware to get a bore, and this will actually attach to most drills, and what you do is you just attach it and you basically can bore straight into plastic. And this diameter right here is perfect. I forget exactly what it is, 11/16 it looks like. And this is perfect for those the Rhino turrets, you know, that lock, the small hole that all of the turret things fit into on Rhinos and Imperial vehicles and things like that. This is perfect for that. So you bore this into like the side of plastic, and then you can put a turret onto it, and it'll lock right in because you got the hole right there. And now, yes, you could glue it flush, but a lot of those turrets and things don't come flush. So you're going to be grinding through plastic, and then you're going to be then try to basically nail it to a surface flush. But what if the surface isn't flush? What if it's convex? This way, at least if you bore through, you're going to have some depth to the piece to actually hold it into place. Next up is a X-Acto foam color, and let me tell you, this thing is pretty awesome. If you're doing foam core, terrain pieces and such, this thing is pretty much invaluable. So it locks in right here, and there's a double-sided blade that you can actually, once this goes dull, you can switch it out, and there's a blade in here. And what it does is this piece goes on your foam core, and you basically cut like this. And it's got these guides basically that really help, and you can snap this thing in too. I forget exactly how it works. I have to. Oh, here it is. And this is for like if you want to go along edges and things, and it locks it in, and it gives you that nice smooth, non-jagged cut on foam core. Because if you've ever cut foam core before, you always have to use a very, a brand new blade and such, or else it'll get all jagged and nasty, and you don't want that. Then I got some lead for all those mechanical pencils that are in here, and some backup gel glue. Sometimes I want the thicker stuff, just kind of depending on what I'm working with, and that's definitely there for that. Then here I got some quick grab sandpaper for projects. Now I got the rest of the sandpaper in the bottom, but as you can imagine, sometimes I just need a small piece to sand something real quick, so I keep that up in here, and it does pretty well. So I got some really coarse stuff, some really fine stuff, some even finer stuff right here. And then this little grit, it's actually a sponge, a dish sponge basically. But what's really good about this is I found sometimes I just want to mar surfaces, and this will get in there, and this will kind of wreck it, but it won't wreck it too bad. It'll give it some texture, but not super crazy. So it's great for bases and just messing up the side of like orc or chaos vehicles. This stuff's great. I've used a lot of it, so this is all I'm down to, but I'm sure it's only a couple bucks at the store there. So you can also use this stuff, is great for sponging on weathering effects with paint and airbrushing and things. So when I put this back in here, I have to kind of stick it in there because it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't lock anymore. So that is the first tray, and actually we're about out of time for this video. So obviously the bottom tray has a lot more things. I'll give you a little spoiler right there. That thing is probably about 3.5 inches deep, so it's going to take I don't even know, 20-30 minutes to go through all that. But that is basically the top and the first tray, and the very top, my quick grab stuff, my go-to stuff, so to speak, for hobbying.
And there it is. Hopefully it didn't overwhelm you with all that stuff. I know there was a lot of good tools, and we're just about to hit the bottom of the toolbox, which has got some really exciting stuff in there, and I can't wait to show you all of that. But like I said, hopefully I didn't overwhelm you with too much. Obviously, if you have any questions, hit them in the comments section in here, and I'll try to get to them and make sure I try to explain everything as much as I can. Hopefully I've annotated as much as I can for you guys. Coming from a veteran, some of this stuff is, super familiar to me, so I don't, if I glaze over something and you don't get it or you want to know more, please just shout it out, and I'll hopefully clarify and correct things as we go for you, so that you can add all these great tools and exciting techniques to your hobby arsenal. If you haven't done so already, make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content and early access videos, and now exclusive manufacturer discounts as well. Become a veteran of the Long War today.